Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to go from improper fractions, and you can take notes with me, to mixed numbers. First is we have to know how do we know if it's an improper fraction? Well, an improper fraction means your numerator is more than your denominator. So it's improper if your numerator is more and your denominator is less. So an example of this would be, let's say I had 5/3. 5 is more than 3, so I know I have an improper fraction. And if I'm going to simplify my improper fraction into a mixed number, so I'm going to convert this to a mixed number. Well, I know that what that means is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5/3 there. Well, I know 3/3 is equal to 1 whole. So I could subtract out 1 whole. So if I subtract out 3/3, which this is 1 whole, now my denominators match because the same size pieces. I'm dealing with thirds here. So I had these 5/3. I'm going to take these 3 and turn them into the 1 whole. So these 3/3 became my 1 whole. How many do I have left? Well, 5 minus 3 is 2. So I have 2 of my thirds left. So my mixed number would combine these two for 1 and 2/3. Now, we can subtract, but when our numbers get large, like let's look at the number 53/5. Well, I didn't mind so much putting down 5 pieces, right? But I don't really want to put down 53 pieces. So I'm going to use my imagination, and I'm going to picture 53 pieces. Each one of those pieces, if I take 5 pieces, I'm going to make a whole because that's my denominator. So if I pull out 5 pieces, that's a whole. Well, I don't want to subtract 5/5, subtract 5/5, subtract 5/5, right? Because that would take me a really long time. So I basically have 53 of this size piece in my pile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that I took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 whole. So that's where it's repeated subtraction. But I know that division is the same thing as repeated subtraction. Now, remember Norman and his donkey? Norman goes in the house. Norman, the numerator, goes in the house. Donkey, the denominator, stays outside. Because I have a dividend of 53. So I'm dividing 53 divided by 5. Another thought, let's put it in a thought bubble. Another thought is that I know a division sign has a dot, a line, and a dot. And I can remember that numerator divided by denominator. So a division problem is a fraction. A fraction is a division problem. So I read this problem as 53 divided by 5. It's just another perspective. And it's going to help us go from an improper fraction to a mixed number. So I start my division. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract. I have 0. Bring down your 3. What times 5 gets me close to 3 without going over? Nothing. So I put in my 0. 0 times 5 is 0, and I subtract. Don't skip that step. It's very important. Now I have a remainder of 3. I'm going to report this remainder as a fraction. I have 3. Let's look at what that remainder looks like. I don't mind showing you that. I have 3 pieces, 3 of these fifths left that we were dividing up. Out of 5 that it would take to make a whole. So if I was trying to make a whole, I only have 3 of them. So that means I have these 3 pieces. What size are they? They are fifths. How did I know that? Because my denominator is 5. That's the size of the piece. So what I have here is 53 fifths equals 10 and 3 fifths. Make up some problems on your own. Practice, practice, practice.